When did you start to get into comedy though? When did you start to see it as something that you could make a profession out of?
Man, it wasn't until really I got to LA. And my first comedy show was as crazy. It was in college as an attendee. They had, you go on college campus, they had them free shows. We didn't been on both sides of them. You've probably done them
Yep.
as a comedian, but you also probably been a part of them as a student. So it was a comedian named Henry Cho, Korean comedian from Tennessee, man. It was the first comic I ever seen live. And then when my brother moved to LA to do stand-up, he did Apollo and started doing guest star roles on sitcoms and stuff. And I was like, okay, I moved to LA in 92, man. I was like, you know what? Hell, I'm gonna try this because I wasn't going anywhere in St. Louis. A dead end job. I was like, fuck that. I'm moving to LA. And I was always kind of the campus clown, the class clown, like we said, but I really didn't understand being a comedian was actually a profession and a job, until really I saw my brother on Def Jam.
Wow. What did that do for you seeing your brother on that show?
I was like, oh, I'm funny than that nigga. No. But you know what's funny? No. When he started acting, he was on Amen first, the show Amen from back in the day. And I was critiquing his acting then, but that's the pattern of my life because I have, it's six of us. So I have five older siblings. No, four older siblings. Everything they did, I did. So I followed in their footsteps and I always was critiquing what they did. So it was just natural for me to see my brother, do act and critique that, but then do stand up and then go on those and fill those shoes as well. So everything they did, I did, and either did it just as well or if not better.
Now, this is something I always wondered. Was there ever any type of sibling rivalry in Hollywood between you and your brother? Like when he landed, like did y'all ever have to like audition for the same roles? And then one of y'all land something, you like, God damn, I wish that was me, or vice versa.
Well, not coming from me. I mean, I think honestly, I think it came from the other side. I was never competing with my brother, man, because I mean, that's big bro. And I always believe what's mine is mine. What's going to be for me is for me. So there have been times I would call him about auditions, the same role.
Straight
Hey
up.
man, I went in on this part, man. I think you better for this role than I am, man. Tell your agent to get you in on this role. It can be the same exact role. I'll call some of my friends and tell them about, hey man, I went on this so and so audition today. Or if they had the audition, I'll be like, hey man, the room is cool. They want you to ad lib, blah 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 blah. Now I'm sure my agents didn't like that, but what my name was on, my name was on. I don't trip off that shit. But as far as me and Joe, man, I never looked at it as competition. But I think as I started working and started, growing, I think he looked at it as competition.
Gotcha.
And I think it really got frustrated one time because he's big bro, and then on top of that, he started first, had success at it first. So of course there's gonna be some type of ego or some type of big bro shit there. But I think one time he went into an audition and and the description said, we're looking for a, Joe Torry type. They didn't call me, but they called my brother in. And they said, we're looking for a Joe Torry type. And Joe went in and was like, hey, man, that's my brother. Want his fucking phone number?
Straight up, though.
But I mean, I can't imagine how that must feel. Like, wait a minute, man. Because, our careers went different ways, He wasn't doing as many TV shows and movies, more stand-up. And then I was doing more TV shows and movies. So I think he felt some type of way.
Well, yeah, man, because I mean, I've heard that about a lot of relationships. Like, I know, like, couples, like men and women couples, when they're both actors, they get some type of rivalry or jealousy from somebody because somebody is being more successful at one point, and then it could switch, and then this person's career is doing better.
And that's crazy to me, man, because unless you're a same-sex couple of actors, well, you ain't getting the same roles.
Straight up. Straight up.
How you mad at your wife or your girlfriend because she booking more roles than you? I'm sure she look better than you. You know what I'm saying? And she's a woman, so you can't get mad at that. Unless if we're a couple, whoever gonna pay these bills, whoever work.
Well, see, that might be what it come down to is like who can talk the most shit in the household too.
Right.
That
part.
Yeah.
That part. He ain't worked since a Master P movie, motherfucker.
Straight right. Yeah, since I'm gonna get you sucker, fucking the last time you had a role. So when you moved to LA in '92, how long were you doing stand up until you got like your first TV role? Was it
2
like
days?
2 days?
No, really. I mean, it was my first big break was Def Comedy Jam. I started stand up in September 1992. I did Def Jam January 1994. So really kind of like in less than 2 years, maybe a year and a half, I was on TV. But when I booked Def Comedy Jam, I knew I had leaped over a lot of people. I knew I did. And I knew the chatter was gonna start. Oh, Joe hooked him up and da. But it was Bob Sumner who told Joe, hey, I think your brother's ready. Because I had a chance to do it the last season Martin hosted, and Joe was like, nah, you ain't ready. And he was right, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, but I was in the gym. And what I mean by the gym, I was getting the reps in on stage every night, you know, doing two. In LA, you can do that, man. In New York, you can probably do 5 gigs a night. But in LA, right, man, I don't care what it was. It could be a comedy club. I'll leave there, go to a pizza place. I'll leave there and do comedy. Or I'll go to a little bar. I mean, but I knew I had to be ready because I knew if I bombed, you know what I'm saying, it was going to be that, oh, he wasn't ready. So I went on Def Jam, man, and I'm telling you, man, I was determined to destroy. And at the same time, I was working on the Martin show too. So I was a PA on the Martin show at the same time. And I remember, man, when I did Def Jam, man, and having a great set, man, I was like, man. And it wasn't until that moment, and then another moment happened that happened at Def Jam, in Def Jam. The second time I did it was like, you know what, I can do this. I can make a career out of this.